welcome to Storytime. I am your Storytime reader, Ms Nikki. Do you remember Humpty Dumpty from the English nursery rhyme? Come say it with me. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Yes, good job. And that's where the nursery rhyme ends. So we picture Humpty in a million pieces on the ground. But what happened to Humpty Dumpty after the fall? On the back of this book, it says, "Life begins when you get back up." What do you think that means? Let's read and find out what happened to Humpty. Today's read aloud is titled, After the Fall, How Humpty Dumpty Got Back Up Again. After the Fall, How Humpty Dumpty Got Back Up Again, a story by Santat. My name is Humpty Dumpty. This was my favorite spot, high up on the wall. I know it's an odd place for an egg to be, but I loved being close to the birds. Then one day I fell. I'm sort of famous for that part. Folks called it the Great Fall, which sounds a little grand. It was just an accident, but it changed my life. Fortunately, all the king's men managed to put me back together. Well, most of me. There were some parts that couldn't be healed with bandages and glue. After that day, I became afraid of heights. I was so scared that it kept me from enjoying some of my favorite things. I walked past the wall every day and I would think about climbing that ladder again. I really missed the birds and being high above the city, but I could never do it because I knew that accidents can happen. I eventually settled for watching the birds from the ground. It wasn't the same, but it was better than nothing. Then one day an idea flew by. Making planes was harder than I thought. It was easy to get cuts and scratches. But day after day I kept trying. And trying until I got it just right. My plane was perfect and it flew like nothing could stop it. I hadn't felt that happy in a long time. It wasn't the same as being up in the sky with the birds, but it was close enough. Unfortunately, accidents happen. They always do. I almost walked away again, but then I thought about all the time I'd spent working on my plane and all the other things I'd missed. I decided I was going to climb that wall. But the higher I got, the more nervous I felt. I didn't want to admit it. I was terrified. I didn't look up, I didn't look down. I just kept climbing, one step at a time. Until I was no longer afraid. Maybe now you won't think of me as that egg who was famous for falling. Hopefully, you'll remember me as the egg who got back up. And learned how to fly. The end. Do you think Humpty Dumpty really turned into a majestic bird? Or do you think the author, Santat, drew this picture to illustrate how Humpty Dumpty is feeling? He is soaring because he learned to conquer his fear. We all have fears. Perhaps fear of going to the dentist or failing a test at school, or maybe falling off a bike. Fear is part of life, but never forget that you are brave and courageous too. We fall, but we can get back up again, and we can practice and work hard. We can learn to fix things and push through our challenges, and we can then persevere, be successful, and learn how to fly.